So the number one reason I would say why I want to do this channel is because I've always believed all my life that we are meant to do something that we love for a living. Xin chào mọi người. My name is Derek and I'm from America. I want to tell you why I'm making this YouTube channel. I have lived in Asia. I studied Asian culture and I lived in Japan, China, Taiwan, Thailand. I went back to America during COVID. And I also had visited Vietnam before and I felt like Vietnam is a great place. Why? Because it's kind of in the middle between a very developed country and a country that still keeps its traditions. And when I was in America, I felt like the traditions and kind of the roots of our culture are kind of missing. And when I experienced Asian culture, I felt like a totally different world. I felt like my own country was not like the center of the world anymore. So I came to Vietnam and I'm loving it here. I love the people are super friendly. That's the main reason. I feel welcome. I feel supported. I feel like when I use Vietnamese, people really encourage me. They're very patient. The economy is doing great. I mean, it's not doing great today, but in general, it's going up. It's doing well. I can save money here. I can enjoy good food. I can kind of get back into what I like to call my natural roots, you know, like a lot of people from very developed countries, we want to go into a place that has like local community that seems very connected, that has mom and pop shops, kind of get away from the big corporation, you know, the big corporate chain stores and everything. So, and I also wanted to get back into nature. So there's a few reasons why I decided to make this YouTube channel. So the number one reason I would say why I want to do this channel is because I've always believed all my life that we are meant to do something that we love for a living way. Because if we do something that we love, we're going to be great at it. We're going to be thinking about it. We're going to be putting our heart into it. But if we do something just for money, you know, that's like, how am I going to be the best at it when I don't really like it or I'm not that into it, right? But what do? I'm an artist. Artists, it's really hard for artists to make money, I thought, right? And so I went into filmmaking when I was in my teens and in my mid-20s. I always thought that I wanted to be a director. In my whole world, I only knew about Hollywood director. Like when you think director, you think Hollywood director. And so I thought, okay, so that's the path. I need to make films, I need to blah, 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 meet the right people, develop the right skills. And that path led me on to making a lot of films, a lot of short film. That did lead me to get into video production, which is pretty lucrative. And I went down that road and I made my own feature film. But the feature film itself did not turn out to be that financially lucrative. And I put a lot of my money into that, my own money, because I thought that I had an investor and I made the film around COVID. Right before COVID started is when the film finished. And when COVID started, the investor pulled out. So I was left with all the money that I had to pay, like my own savings, right? And so I always felt like, man, I put so much time and energy into something that I'm interested in, and then I used that money to make a film, and then I kind of lost the money because the amount of money that I gained back from the film does not equal the amount that I spent, okay? So, but I always felt like, you know what, this skill set of storytelling, it's actually very valuable today. And I believe that everybody has something that they love to do, and there's a way to monetize what we do, what we love to do. These days, because of social media, because of YouTube, I believe that it can be monetized in a good way. And I like the idea of using my position of where I live as a way to stand out and to be different and to show something that not a lot of people are showing, or talk about things that not a lot of people are talking about. So that's my plan with the channel. And my goal is of course I want to make money. I want to do what I love to do. I want to tell stories, and I want to show the world what I believe in to be true, which is that you can do what you love and you can be successful. I've had different YouTube channels, but I was always kind of stopping the channel because I felt like I couldn't produce enough content to satisfy the social media monster, you know, where like you need to put out content, right? But you notice my language, I had a negative image of it. I called it a social media monster, and I had negative thoughts about YouTube. I had negative thoughts about social media. But I changed my mind and I thought, you know what, with the encouragement of my friends who I'm grateful for, who told me to do it, and I thought, you know, I can tell stories with like a GoPro or like a phone or whatever. Like I actually, at the heart of it, I love telling stories. I used to think that I just want to be a director and all that. That's a lot of work, that's a lot of, you know, but in my heart, I'm like, I want to tell stories. I've got different ways of seeing social media and there's negative ways of seeing it, like it's just like I'm trying to get attention. It has a bad reputation because people use it for weird stuff. But I changed all that and I'm like, hey, okay, forget about that. Forget about this career idea and think outside the box. Think at the heart of it. What do I like? I like telling stories. I like making jokes. I like culture. I like music. I want to put all that out there because I really enjoy it. I love sharing that. So this is me. I'm gonna put me out there and try to monetize me doing what I love, right? And I want everybody to do that too, because we get stuck sometimes. We get stuck thinking about money, thinking about pleasing somebody else. But all that time, we're missing the fact that those people who we're trying to please, they don't really understand that you can do what you want. And when you do what you want and you're successful, they will be even more pleased. And you know, I also really want to be able to go back to America. I love Vietnam, but I also love my family in America. I want to go back to see my mother, my father, my sister, my niece, nephew, and I need something that's going to allow me to make those trips back to America more frequently. And I think this would be perfect. So I realized that as a creator, whether it's film, music, whatever it is, I need an audience. I need people to come. And marketing is so important these days. I plan to have a music bar or like a music cafe in the future. If I have a music cafe, I need people to come. I need marketing. I need eyes. I need viewers. I need audience. It's very important. So I used to think that holding a camera to myself is so like narcissistic or egotistical. I had a negative view of this. But when I switched that and I changed it and I changed the way that I think about that and I ignored what people think about it and I thought of it the way that I think about it, like it became my own thing. And I realized this is very fun. This is very good. I can tell stories anytime with a little thing, a little GoPro. When I made that shift, I've been noticing that I'm creating content all the time. I have too much right now that I just have to edit and turn into videos because I have so many ideas naturally, and I think this is actually coming really naturally to me. So you guys, I want to say thank you for supporting me. Thank you, my foreign and Vietnamese friends. If you are interested in a foreigner's way of thinking or whatever, comparing different cultures, learning a language, a different cultural perspective in Vietnam, like my own cultural perspective, because I've lived in different Asian countries, so I'm able to kind of compare these countries with Vietnam and also my country. I found growing up in America, I was actually interested in the other side of the world because I found it fascinating when I saw it was so different. The way of living and thinking was so different. The culture was so different, but we're actually very similar. We're like the same. We're the same at the core, and that's what I believe. A lot of people believe that we're different. A lot of people will say they. They won't say like us. They'll say they, and we'll put a wall between different cultures, but I like to say us. We are the same. Maybe what we do is different, but I believe in the connection that we have, and I think that's beautiful to uncover the connection, to unveil the connection that we all have in the world, right? So also I think the channel is for foreigners who are interested in Vietnam. I think I've met a lot of foreigners who are like me in that they grew up in a developed country. They got sick of the capitalism. They got sick of the chain stores and kind of the feeling of being controlled and brainwashed and, you know, all that stuff. Because that's what happens when a country like gets developed. It's like we get a lot of advertising, we get a lot of like changes to our culture that causes us to want to consume more and buy more. And I met a lot of foreigners like that. They're interested in like Southeast Asia, or maybe they're interested in South America. So my channel is also for those people because I want you guys to know what it's like. Okay, thank you guys for listening to my introduction video. Thanks for your support. Thank you for liking in advance. Thank you for subscribing in advance. And I'll see you in some of my videos. Bye.